Welcome to the Church Answers podcast. This is part 4. You may be thinking,
it's going pretty fast for me and you, Jess.
You may be thinking, part 4 of what? Well, if you've missed the 3 previous episodes, we are talking about the top 10 popular translations, English-speaking translations in the United States, according to sales. Why are people buying these translations? And so we have spent 3 episodes prior to this one where we've talked about the first episode, history, influence, philosophy of translations. And then in the next 2, parts 2 and 3, we've gone through numbers 1 through 6. We looked at the NIV, the KJV, NLT, ESV, CSB, and NKJV. So here in this episode, part 4, we're going to be looking at the final 4 of the top 10 of English-speaking Bible translations and the popularity in the United States. Before we do it, we want to thank Cheney and Associates. They are an accounting firm for the local church. They are just a company that loves the local church. In fact, they have people who used to be on staff at local churches that work for them. And so they focus specifically on helping church leaders in terms of their bookkeeping and accounting needs. We would love for you to go and check them out. Go to CheneyAssociates.com/churchanswers, CheneyAssociates.com/churchanswers, and just get on a phone call with them. Reach out, see what they can do. Any church size, any church budget. They do an amazing job.
I got a story.
Always. Stories and caveats.
Yeah, well, this is the story. This is within the last 2 weeks of the recording of this podcast, talking to a pastor in another church, and looks like he's going to be forced out of his church, mainly because the finances are not there. They might keep him bivocational, but he said he's probably going to move out. So I'm not going to say a whole lot of that. So what's the financial issue? He said embezzlement.
Oh, dear.
And without getting into details, basically, no one was watching the books carefully. And so anybody could go in, and not anybody, but a lot could go in. And the temptation was too great for someone, and the money's gone. And he said, I wish I had listened to you about Cheney. He said that. Some people say, we'll try to do it ourselves, save a few little bucks here. No, it's better to sleep well at night. And it's not always illegal. Sometimes it's just messy if you don't do it right.
Yeah, no, that is an unfortunate situation that's happening there. But again, your point being that, man, it's another reason just to have that another layer of accountability, and so Cheney Associates can provide that. So super thankful for them and their work to help make sure things stay above board, and they do it at your church as well. All right, so we're talking about translations today. We're talking about we've been looking at the top 10 Bible translations, and so today we reach number 7. Which is the NASB, the New American Standard Bible.
And sometimes you'll hear it referred to as NASB. Some people actually pronounce it that way. It is really a strong formal equivalent, strong word for word. Probably of the modern translations, it is one of the most literal translations. And I actually saw the NASB drop out of the top 10 for several months. And I didn't think it would come back. But I'm presuming what has happened is that they've had some updates that has made it a little more readable than it has been. It's always been appreciated for the literalness of word for word. And maybe with some of the updates, the communication and the listenability and readability improved as well. I know there have been updates, but NASB's been around for a long, long time. Jess, I was in conversation at one point through some of my team with the Lockman Foundation about the possibility of buying that license for Lifeway instead of producing.
When you're at Lifeway. Yeah. I actually do know this story. Typically, you tell me news stories, but I know this one.
Well, we decided to go with a new translation, basically, and there were other details, but that would have been kind of neat to have the NASB as part of the library of translations that we would have had, but it didn't work. We went with the CSB. NASB is a good translation, especially in the word for word. It's again, if that's what you want, you'll get it. Now, so if you preach it, I'm not trying to be too critical. If you preach it, you may have to explain it just a little bit.
Yeah, it does have that study setting that it makes it really advantageous for that in that study setting. All right, so number 7 was the NASB or the NASB. Number 8 is the NRSV, the New Revised Standard Version.
Well, let's tackle 2 at one time.
Okay. So again, number 9 then would be the RSV, so the Revised Standard. So you have number 8, the New Revised Standard Version, and then number 9, the Revised Standard Version.
So both of them have more of a word for word. So, but the RSV is obviously the older translation. And as a matter of fact, there's a connection to the ESV because the ESV wanted to be the evangelical equivalent of the RSV. That's another story in itself. But the Revised Standard was primarily mainline institutions.
Okay.
And, mainline denominations, I should say.
I'd say these, like for my upbringing, these are the 2 I'm least familiar with, and now that makes sense.
Exactly. And when I was at seminary, Jess, because the seminary where I was going at the time was moving pretty sharp to the left, our required Bible was the RSV. They started adopting the just because it was part of the mainline. It's formal equivalents, both of these, and then right above that is number 8, which is the New Revised Standard or NRSV. Same philosophy, little more modern in translation, not a whole lot, but a lot more inclusive language. And so the gender issue starts playing into the NRSV. So
okay,
the same group that are putting it forward. Some have held on to the RSV. Some have moved to the NRSV. Some have moved into sports evangelism.
that segue just didn't work, but
you're gonna make it work.
If you're listening, this is a good time for us to thank one of our sponsors, just because that was a really bad segue and there's really no way around it. We're stopping and we're thanking a sponsor right now. We want to thank Upward Sports, one for just their heart for helping you as a church leader reach your community. That is what they are about. Upward Sports is about helping you as a church leader reach your community. And so if you're sitting here and, it's getting close, it's fall is on the horizon as this episode comes out.
September 3rd, fall is not on the horizon. Kickoffs have already happened.
Well, it's, some people say fall's not there quite yet, but football is definitely there.
Football equals fall. Fall equals football.
Okay, I see. That's your thought. I don't think it's quite fall yet, but it's getting there. I like to hold on to summer as long as I can. But my point being, you should be thinking about next year. You should be thinking about 2026 as a church leader and what you can do. If you want to do something new and you want to try something you've never tried before, go to upward.org/church answers, upward.org/church answers. Go find out some information, get on the phone with Upward Sports, and see how they can help you reach your community in 2026 through sports. They got them all. They even have pickleball. They're even giving away some free pickleball net sets.
Net sets. Pickleball. Net sets.
Yes.
I love that language.
Pickleball net sets. And so jump in before supplies run out. Sounds like a commercial there. Jump in.
This is a commercial, but it's a commercial for a good organization.
That's right. So go check them out. Upward.org/church answers. They will help you reach your community. Well, we have been looking at the top 10 Bible translations. We've looked at 9 so far. And our final one that we're going to look at is the LSB, the Legacy Standard Bible.
I'm not sure that we need to put this as a separate translation. When I looked at the rankings, some of the rankings did.
Okay.
The Legacy Standard Bible, I think 2021. So you asked the question in a previous episode, was the CSB the newest? It was, if we don't count the Legacy Bible as a new translation. The Legacy Bible, again, word for word, rigid, literal. It's taken the NASB and updated it. So should this be an updated NASB or should this be its own translation? And depending upon where you're looking at rankings, it stands on its own as its own translation or it's just a form of the NASB. I will leave it like that. And one of the reasons I will leave it like that, by the way, it has become very popular among the John MacArthur crowd, if you will, those who have followed the teaching and preaching of the recently late John MacArthur. And my guess is in the near future, just because many people it's been brought to their attention about his transition to the Lord. I think many people are going to go to legacy. It's going to go up for at least for a while.
Sure.
Will we include it as its own translation, like some do, and put it in the rankings? That's not my role, but my role is it its own translation or not? So some would argue yes, some would argue no. If the argument is no, then the CSB is the newest of the top 10. If the argument is yes, included, then the Legacy Standard Bible is the newest of the top 10. Now, let me say this, though.
We put it as number 10, so let's call it.
We did call it. Let me say this. 1 through 6 are very close in ranking.
Yep.
The reason I stayed in 7, 8, 9, and 10 for the last, because usually there is a significant drop between 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10.
And again, the top 6 was NIV, KJV, NLT, ESV, CSB, and NKJV.
I see those 6 continuing to be among the most dominant. As mainline denominations continue to decline, my guess is RSV and NRSV will continue to decline. New American Standard is really perceived as much a language study Bible as it is a preaching Bible. So I don't know where that is going to go. I think the King James will continue to be strong just because the King James is the King James. And one thing we didn't mention about that translation, it's the most frequent seller for gift Bibles, for graduates, for people who are getting married, in any situation where there's a gift to be given. King James is the most common. Another reason that's going to continue to sell well, it's in the public domain. Mm-hmm. Hey, Lifeway, B&H, they publish King James Bibles. Anybody can publish a King James Bible. It's in the public domain. And so you'll see a lot of publishers putting that forth, and that will continue to cause that one to be ranked high. These last 4, hey, nothing that I'm saying negative necessarily about them, but I don't see them moving up into the top 6. I told you that the New American Standard Bible was a surprise to me, that at the time I looked at the rankings, it had moved up to number 7 because I saw it for months not in the top 10. But I also have to say, when we were publishing the top 10 back then, we were publishing top-selling Bibles in America, and it had either 1 or 2 Spanish translations. So that bumped NASB out. But this is what we have. We've tried to show you why these Bibles are among the top 10. What is it about them that's causing many people to buy them? I'm grateful people are buying the Bible. I'm grateful people are reading the Bible. Mm-hmm. I'm grateful people are listening to the reading of the Bible.
Right. At the end of the day, I mean, it's been a fun conversation just to kind of look at all the different translations. But as a pastor, at the end of the day, I just want the people who call my church home to be in God's word. John's 8, how do you know if you're my true disciple? You abide in my word, you remain in my word, you stay faithful in my teachings. And so that's ultimately the mark of a true disciple, is someone who remains in Jesus. And that means you remain in his word. And so that's the heart. That's the cry. Stay in his word. As a church leader, let me just encourage you, just stay in his word, just devour it, be hungry for it. It is the living, as Hebrews 4:12 tells us, it is alive and powerful. And so let's continue just to treat it and believe it and live in it and just make it everything God's word. So, well, this has been fun. 4 parts that we have looked at the top 10 best-selling translations currently in the United States. We hope it's been a little bit information for you and just help you process a little bit and understand why certain people go to certain translations. But in the day, we love it that people are just in God's word. Before we finish this series, this 4-part series, we want to thank Cheney and Associates one more time. They have their own podcast. Go check out the Church Advisory Podcast. That podcast is about helping you with administrative and finance needs. And so they love helping you out as church leaders. They'd love to talk to you directly. Today, actually, they would love to go talk to you today. Go to Cheney cheneyassociates.com/church answers, cheneyassociates.com/church answers, and go get in touch with them. They're ready. They're expectant. They're ready to talk with you about any bookkeeping and finance needs that you have. They're amazing accountants who understand the local church, and just know that they are ready to help you. So go check them out. And by the way, if you're listening to this podcast, maybe you finished up this 4-part series. You've gone through all 4. Before you go, just give us a thanks, give us a like, give us a share. We love that you guys are involved with the podcast, and so we're so thankful for you and your support along the way as well. Well, thank you so much, and we will see you on the next episode.